These 8 bodies are already battered and bruised after 2 days' intense competition, and it's only going to get tougher as they face 5 more lung-busting, muscle-bulging strength events in the final. So, who's got what it takes to become UK's strongest man?
This year's very strong, some basically world-class athletes.
I know the events aren't particularly amazing for me in the final, and they're very good for Tom. So, you know, I'm going to have to work hard to win this.
Lawrence Son is an amazing athlete, you know. I used to watch him on TV and I've competed against him at Worlds and at the World Championships last year, so I watched him closely and I know what events he can slip up on, so hopefully I can take that into advantage today.
So Glenn Ross, 5-time UK strongest man, known as the Daddy, and this is the Daddy Dumbbell, event number 1.
Yeah, it's a massive dumbbell, originally from the Arnold Classic, but now it has a daddy weight of 90 kilos. It's massive, 200 pounds, but there's a difference. It's over 3¼ inch handle, has to be lifted to your shoulder. So a lot of wrist power is in play. Press above your head into a locked out position. Referee will give the down signal. You can return it to the shoulder or to the floor, but more than likely to the floor with that weight.
Not just brute strength, technique needed as well, right?
Totally, totally. And if they want to change hands, if they can do it with the left, they must return it to the floor, back up to the shoulder and press.
90 kilograms, folks. These guys are going to be pressing it as many times as possible, and it's man versus man at the same time.
This is a final, you've got to give it everything.
Tough one to start with.
The first event for me is the tricky one. If I can get out of the first event in the top 3, then I'll be pleased.
Just my pressing's feeling phenomenal, so yeah, I'm really confident this year with the dumbbell that I hopefully get, you know, a good few reps and maybe come first or second in that event.
Yeah, Daddy Dumbbell should be a good event for me again. I've got quite big wide shoulders, I can sit it well nice, put it up. It's going to be Arnold rules, so you can do it from the shoulder. As long as you can keep it on the shoulder, you've got to keep putting it down. So I should be good for 5 or 6 on the shoulder.
Welcome to the finals then of UK Strongest Man. This is event 1 as we see it so far. Pa O'Dwyer, Ireland's strongest man, leads so far with 6 repetitions ahead of Paul Smith, Phil Roberts and Ryan Reid of Scotland. Big crowd here at Crumlin Road Jail, and the sun's come out as Charlie Goff of England, 27 years of age, fancies he can do a good event here. Steps up to the Daddy Dumbbell, 90 kilos, alongside Aaron Page, who's battled against a calf injury to make his way into the final. Now they have to lift to the shoulder and then press from there, back down to the shoulder for 1 repetition. 1 rep. 2 for Aaron Page, and I think perhaps Charlie Goff may have dropped it, and I think he said to pick it up again. He won't be pleased with that. Lots of dropping to the floor. You can change hands, of course. You can use another shoulder if you wish to, but it has to return to the floor, and as Glenn Ross said, it's more about dropping it at this weight rather than putting it back down gently. Aaron Page is doing a fantastic job here. Charlie Goff just getting it lined up, ready to go again. The clock is still ticking down, just under 30 seconds for both of our athletes. 90 kilos, this dumbbell. The world record set earlier this year in Summermania at over 140 kilos. Bearing in mind there's no repetitions in that, but that just gives you some impression of how incredible some of these athletes are. The technique, very difficult here for some athletes. 7 reps. Will you get another one in, Aaron Page? Oh, that's great pressing. The whistle goes. 8 repetitions for Aaron Page, 5 for Charlie Goff. I think he'll be a little disappointed with that, the man in the yellow shoes there. And that final extra effort from Aaron Page takes him into the lead so far in this event. Lawrence Charlie on the left-hand side up against Tom Stoltman on the right. There's some difference in height there. Lawrence Charlie, 34 years of age, sporting a very fine beard, I must say. On the right-hand side of your screen, in the blue shoes, Tom Stoltman, just 23 years of age. I'm not sure he's old enough to get a big as beard as Laurent Charlet yet, but a fantastic athlete. This is going to be some match. Up onto the shoulder easily for both men, and away they go. Stoltman making it look easy, as is Charlet. Ooh! That is a surprise. It looked like Tom Stoltman was struggling a little bit there, and Charlet takes the advantage. Up to 5 repetitions now. Remember, they've got plenty of time. 7 is the mark that they're going for to equal Aaron Page. They have to get 8 to go over the top of it. Charlet looking very good with 40 seconds still to go. Both sticking with the same shoulder at the moment. Tom Stoltman preferring to press with that left arm. Charlet with the right. Charlet is now tied with Aaron Page on 8 repetitions. Stoltman suffering a little bit, but Charlet would like to overhaul Page to take a clear lead in this. Just coming up to 10 seconds. Both athletes have got to put in a mighty effort now. One more press from Laurent Charlet will take the lead. Nope. Tom Stoltman, no, he can't make another one either. Well, that's a solid but maybe not spectacular start for both of the favourites. Charlet, in fact, whacked his head on the way down in the last one.
So joint winners in our first event, Aaron and Loz. Maybe one with no expectations and one with plenty of expectations. Did you know coming into that event that you were going to do so well?
To be fair, the dumbbell is normally a good event for me. 2 years ago, I managed 9 reps on 90 kilos. This is a different dumbbell this year, so you can't really tell. They're all different. So you've just got to take it, find the right point, and do as many as you can. To be fair, my fitness has let me down a little bit. I would have liked 10, but again, my fitness just wasn't there at the moment, and that's due to my training, nothing else.
Yeah, and that comes back, obviously, to that terrible injury that you suffered this year. So, fantastic start for you. Loz, though, you had to set down a marker, didn't you, in this first event of the final?
To be honest, I saw Aaron go, and I know he's one of the best overhead lifters in the competition. So I attempted to get 9 to beat him. Just missed out on that 9th one, whacked my head on the way down. At the moment, it doesn't hurt, but it'll probably get a nice bruise later. But I'm very happy with that. My training's not been ideal for this competition. It's been almost non-existent, and I haven't done any dumbbell training whatsoever in about a year. So quite happy to come in and get 8 reps on that. It's a very hard dumbbell. It's a bit harder than normal because it's so thick. You know, the handle's so huge that just getting it balanced becomes very awkward.
Isn't it? So it's that point that you've got to find to be able to get a lockout where it's not going to move, especially where they're filled with water as well. So that's moving, everything plays into consideration. Like, you've literally got to get it up and you've got to stabilise, otherwise it's going. And you saw that with a couple of the guys today.
Yeah, well, you two handled it the best. Great start. Go and get ready for the next one. Cheers, lads.
Cheers. Well done, mate.
So forget the quarters, forget the semis. It's about today's final, and Charlet and Page lead overall after one event from Stoltman and O'Dwyer. Coming up next, our finalists slug it out in the silver dollar deadlift. Don't go anywhere.
OK, Glenn, we're in the same position for the second event, but this is a totally different strength discipline, right?
This is a maximum test for the final, and everybody knows about deadlift, but there's a difference to this strongman one. It's 18 inches high. It's called the silver dollar deadlift. The guys will strap in and pull it up just like a deadlift with shoulders back to the referee gives the signal down. The record stands at 511 kilos by the awesome Ken Brown of the USA back in 2008, so it's well due to be broke.
OK, is there a chance that it can be done today?
We've got some massive deadlifters here. We'll soon see on that.
OK, silver dollar deadlift is our second event.
In this field of athletes, I would want to be winning the deadlift. You know, there's some good deadlifters, but I would expect me to have the biggest deadlift out of everyone.
I know what Loz can pull, and if I get close to him, I'd be happy, or even match him would be a really big achievement for me.
Well, we join the action with Phil Roberts from Sheffield in Yorkshire. 7th place overall after the first event. And an attempt at 400 kilos. Scotland's Ryan Reid already failing at this weight. Look at the flexibility of that bar. That's good lifting. Tremendous stuff by Phil Roberts. 400 kilos for the Englishman. Phil Roberts, who had such a nightmare of a competition here last year, having a much, much better time of it this year. This is his training partner, young Paul Smith.
The babyface assassin, it is Paul Smith.
Also from Sheffield in South Yorkshire, strapping himself in. This is a very, very flexible bar for the silver dollar deadlift. So called because traditionally those boxes were filled with American silver dollars. Oh, that's a great lift. Straight up at 400 kilos. Well, it looks like he didn't even bother. That's the way to do it. This is Charlie Goff. 5th place overall on 4 points so far. He too at 400 kilos, and another great clean lift for the Englishman.
Awesome stuff.
Only so far you've seen Phil Roberts, who's had that bar waggling and shaking. This is Pa O'Dwyer, the local hero, Ireland's strongest man. And you'll have seen the others at 400 kilos. Oh, easily. Well, this is turning out to be quite a close competition so far in this event. And Tom Stoltman of Scotland, currently lying 3rd overall, joint of course. And a little more difficult for Stoltman because he is that much taller, but you can lift such big weights when the bar is 18 inches off the ground rather than going from the ground itself. Well, Aaron Page, still attention to detail for this man. He really does look at everything in detail. No shoes on, wants to get closer to the ground, which means he's got less height to lift the bar. This will be playing on his injured calf, but he's done a very good deadlift there. He'll be very happy with that. At 400 kilos, does a little shuffle to show that he is. Joint 1st place then with Page is Lawrence Charlet. This is at 400 kilos, remember. Which means every man except for Ryan Reid will go through. An easy deadlift for Charlet. I'm not surprised. He knows he's good at this. The crowd know he's good at this. If you've been watching Strongman for a while, you'll all know he's good at this. Phil Roberts coming back to the bar then. This is 425 kilos. Well, he struggled an awful lot first time around. Touches the bar and they let him bow out at this weight. He did really struggle, and discretion, the better part of valour for the Yorkshireman. Not so for his training partner, 22-year-old Paul Smith, though.
Come on, Paul.
He's taking this very seriously indeed. Proper deadlift style. Oh, attacking it, pulling with the lower back and shoulders. And is given 425 kilos on his 2nd lift. Next up to the bar, Charlie Goff. A tall athlete. I think might struggle with this one. Oh no! Magnificent lifting from Charlie Goff. Well, I didn't expect that. Great stuff from the Englishman. 425 kilos for the man from Chelmsford. This, Pa O'Dwyer. Oh, the Irishman, ever popular both amongst competitors and spectators. Oh, he makes that look easy. You know what? He's been wearing those pink socks for the entire competition. Tom Stoltman. A giant of a man. And he's having a great competition so far. And another easy lift for the youngster. 425 kilos to the Scotland's Tom Stoltman. Our joint leader after round 1, Aaron Page. that's... Oh, no. Well, he looked like he had a little bit of a struggle last time, but Aaron Page using all the technique he can and deciding, no, I can't make 4:25. He'll be disappointed with that, but he has been carrying an injury for a long time. This is Lance Charlet. If he lifts this, he puts clear daylight between himself and Aaron Page and makes it look easy. He is the consummate deadlifter and strides away after 425 kilos. Well, I can tell you that the rest of the field have bowed out at 425 kilos, and Lance Charlet here attempting a new UK record of 465 kilos in an attempt to get some daylight between himself and Aaron Page. Now, this is a very big ask for Charlet. Well, he started well. Oh, he's got to lock out those shoulders and back. They're so hard, keeping the bar in motion while he's trying to do that. He almost got there, but not quite. He has one more attempt. He's eyeing up that bar very carefully indeed, trying to focus. Well, the record is 511 kilos set by Ken Brown of the USA back in 2008. But anything over 450 is a massive, massive lift, and Lance Charlet knows it. He's going to leave it. Well, that leaves him on 425 like everybody else, and he is annoyed about that. Not a happy man at all, Lance Charlet.
You were just centimetres, maybe even millimetres away from getting that UK record, which has stood for some years.
Yeah, you know, the records are great, but the first kind of priority is to try and win the competition. You know, it's such a big jump. We only did 3 lifts before that just to get to that, so it was kind of, you know, very, very quick to get up to that kind of weight. I was close. It really wobbles. You can see how much it kind of wobbles and the flex in the bar, and it is difficult. And I thought about trying again, but then I wouldn't have got it a second time, and it would have just been expending energy then. But a little bit frustrated because, like I said, I wanted 7 or 8 points from that, and with only 5 events, there's not a chance to really kind of stretch away from people. And personally, I expected myself, Charlie and Parr to be the top 3 on that event. So with my battle with like Tom, he's got some good events to come now. He's a bit closer than I would have liked him to be, but we'll get on with it and we'll get on the next event and try my best.
You're top at least. Thanks for chatting to us. Cheers, Loz.
Well, what a turn up for the books then, as the top 5 men share the cumulative points for the top 5 places. 6 points each. A disaster for Aaron Page, though. So Charlet puts a little bit of daylight between himself, Tom Stoltman and Parr O'Dwyer, who had joined second, but an entire horizon between himself and Aaron Page, who drops from joint first to 4th with just 10 points after 2 events.
Next event then, 3 out of 5 events for our final. Glenn, what have we got?
We've got a medley. It's the duck walk and drag, anchor and chain. 200 kilos of duck, 440 pounds, have to be taken down a 20-meter course, and then they've got this awesome anchor and chain that weighs 404 kilos, has to be pulled up a 10-meter distance.
So 2 disciplines in one event, basically. What's the deal with this, the duck? How do you carry that down the course?
Well, a lot of grips involved, lower back strength, a lot of hammies and glutes, and you get down there as quick as you can, waddling like a duck.
And it's something like that?
Something like that.
Anything goes in the duck walk, and I've never seen something like that pulled before.
This is an absolutely massive implement. The anchor and chain, like I said, 404 kilos. There'll not be many finishing this today, but there should be 1 or 2. And if they want this title, they'll need to do it.
Just keeps getting tougher and tougher.
And duck walk's all about having fast feet. Fitness won't come into it, and duck walk, it'll just be speed, but the lungs will start going and the legs will start burning on the drag back, so that'll be when we see who's the fittest. So the duck walk is, I know I'm good at that. I'm very fast and can move with weights really well. But then the second half of that is a bit of a twist, and it's into the chain carry. So I've never done that before. What I've got to do is just give it everything and just go for it.
Well, if you're a fan of strongman, you will have seen the duck walk before, but I bet none of you have seen an anchor drag like this. Ryan Reid of Scotland. He's had a bit of a poor start to this final, but a fantastic achievement to be here in the first place on his first trip to UK Strongest Man. Phil Roberts, you heard from him just now. He's looking very, very focused indeed. He's good at the duck walk, as he says, but it's an unknown quantity, this anchor drag. From the south coast of England, Aaron Page getting the crowd behind him. He's a very popular athlete. He needs a good combined event here. Slipped to 4th overall. And this is Paul Smith. He's currently the world under-23 champion. He too would like to improve his position overall. 20 meters with this 200 kilo weight in the duck walk. All of these men are quite good at the duck walk, but Phil Roberts getting a little lead over Aaron Page now. All of them doing well at this point. This is the part of the medley that's really going to count. 404 kilos to drag up this strip. And the theory is the more chain you can lift off the ground, the less friction there is, the less drag, literally. That's great stuff by Phil Roberts. And he's hit the wall. They've all hit the wall. It just goes to show how incredibly difficult this is. You just run out of energy completely. Whoa! Ooh. Good job, he's a flexible lad. Straight back up, unfazed, flings the weight belt away. Just come to a grinding halt, literally. This has taken them all by surprise, I think. And what is the technique here? Do you pull it in one good go? Do you just rip at it like Aaron Page is doing here? There's just no energy left in any of these athletes. Paul Smith hits the deck for a second time. They're just looking at the chains going, what do I do now? Aaron Page has had enough. He's really had enough of this event. I don't think he's very impressed at all, either with himself or the event. Oh, third time on the deck for Paul Smith. This is incredible. I've never seen anything like this at all. How fitting then that Smith should end up lying on his back there. Well, Phil Roberts, the best of the best there. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Whoop! Good old Paul, almost making a full 360. Coming up next, Heat 2 of the gruesome, grueling and gripping duck walk anchor drag medley. So we've seen England's Phil Roberts lay down the marker at 7 meters in the anchor drag. What will our last 4 men do? Well, the weather's wonderful, the crowds are big, and these 4 men have just seen their fellow competitors at 6s and 7s over the anchor drag. A really, really tough event. Charlie Goff, next to him, Pa O'Dwyer of Ireland, currently 2nd overall with 11.5 points. Joint 2nd, I should say. And next to him, another Celtic competitor and another 2nd place man, Tom Stoltman of Scotland. This is an event where he could really shine. He's a tall man. He could lift a lot of that chain off the ground and reduce the drag. This is our current leader, 13.5 points for Lawrence Charley of England. And I think still smarting a little bit after the silver dollar deadlift. And away they go. 200 kilos. And it's not the most graceful of events, is it? 20 meters to carry this down, and Stoltman keeping in touch with Charlie. That's what he'll want. Pa O'Dwyer over the line, and finally Charlie Goff. Lifting this chain. Oh, that's a great start by Lawrence Charley. He's got a good grip on this. It's almost like a combined walk and deadlift. Well, Tom Stoltman looks like he's struggling a little bit, although he's got a lot more of the chain off the ground than Charley. Well, he's come to a dead halt, Lawrence Charley. And Stoltman has overtaken him. Oh, it's almost neck and neck. One chain drag for Stoltman, followed by another for Lawrence Charley. And he's lost a shoe. That's not good. Tremendous effort that's been put in. And while he's putting that back on, Tom Stoltman could make hay while the sun shines, literally here. Well, suddenly they just come to a grinding halt. All of them. Charlie focusing himself again. Let's see if he can repeat the first drag. That's good stuff, but oh no! That's a disaster for Lawrence Charlie, and Stoltman is still inch by inch pulling away. But there must be, what, 6 inches in it? Oh, that's a great pull by Lawrence Charlie. Surely he's overtaken Tom Stoltman there, but it'll come back again. I have never seen anything like this in my life. This is brutal. That's almost a technique now, falling over. They've had it. They've both had it. Well, that goes down to the wire. You know what? If this was the Derby or the Grand National, that would be what they call a photo finish. They're absolutely wiped out. I don't think I've ever seen an event in strongman that has left all the athletes in such a state. They can hardly get up. Well, anybody who says they're not athletes has another thing coming. That is an extraordinary event.
So, Tom, I believe that was 26 centimetres between first and second, just losing out to Loz. I don't think it could have been more exciting because you two battling for first place in that side by side. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was hell, but I tried my best to keep up with him, but he took that wee break that got the last push. But, you know, I'm fighting till the end, and that's what us Scottish guys do. And, you know, hopefully I can pip him, but just being here, like I said, is amazing feeling. So
5 events in total, 2 more to go. What's it going to take now from you to get over that finish line and win this thing?
Just to stay mentally strong like I've been the whole competition, and, you know, try and get Loz in this event and the flag post and push, and hopefully I can be champion. But, you know, I'm second place, and I could have only dreamt to be second place in this lineup. And 23 years old, I've got loads and loads of years left in this sport, 100, and I'm going to come back here every year and improve and improve. And that's what I'm here to do today. So,
well done, mate. I'll go and get your breath, and good luck in the next event. Cheers.
Well, that is a very important win for Lawrence Charlie. 8.15 metres and the full 8 points. 7.89 for Tom Stoltman, 26 centimetres down on Lawrence Charlie, and that's the effect it has on the overall standing. Charlie pulling out a little more each time from Stoltman. Great event for Aaron Page, though, brings himself back up to third.
Glenn, I think for the first time in this year's UK Strongest Man, it is
a man-on-man.
Man-on-man. How does it work?
Yeah, this is a back-to-back harness of rope in a truck pull fashion. The guys are going to grab the rope with all their might on both sides and basically pull each other over the line.
Okay, so head referee Rene is going to be here, making sure that the starting point is absolutely central.
Yep.
A whistle from Rene, and then it's
let's go, and then whistle to finish. Simple as that.
Yeah. How do they win this one, Glenn?
Beast mode. Simple as that.
Beast mode, right. Hey, business end. Just 2 events to go.
I'm going to try and be as explosive as possible, and really, I'm going to be yanking.
If you're at a standstill for 30 seconds, lactic acid's building up, the legs are starting to tire, arms are tiring. Who's going to give up first?
No, it's just going to be whoever wants it the most, really.
The back-to-back harness and rope pull. This is semi-final number 1. Lawrence Charlie looking really focused. He is currently leading, but he can't take his foot off the gas at all. He's up against Phil Roberts, who's looking a little pensive, and I'm not surprised. This is an event that deals with body weight, and officially Phil Roberts, England's strongest man, is giving away 35 kilos to Lawrence Charlie. Charlie 160 kilos. Roberts 125. Climbing boots on both men. Getting as much grip as possible. Surely centre of gravity must play a part in this, and Charlie is not as tall as Roberts, and maybe that's an advantage where you can see they are. Difference in weight. Oh! An immediate pull over the line from Lawrence Charlie. And Phil Roberts didn't get a chance at all. Took the strain, but look at this. All of a sudden, he's being dragged backwards at a rate of knots. second semi-final. This is Paul Smith, currently 5th place overall, just 22 years of age. Up against 23-year-old Tom Stoltman, currently 2nd place. He's drifted a little bit off Lawrence Charley after the duck walk and anchor pull. Smith a lot shorter. This could be an advantage. He could get to lean into that straight away, and away we go. Stoltman very strong though. Oh, Smith really having to hang on here. Stoltman's got the momentum. Digging in, digging in, digging in. That's great, great resistance by Paul Smith. It's now a grip event for him. How long can he hang on? The inertia is with the big Scotsman. Oh, that's fantastic stuff by Paul Smith, but I fear he's going to give soon. Trying to get some advantage, but I don't think it's going to work. Now Stoltman may be tiring a little bit. Just hang on in, Paul. Hang on in as long as you can. No, the grip goes, and Stoltman takes the win. The effort that Paul Smith put in there to resist this man, who was driving second after second after second. This then the final. And you could have written the script for this, couldn't you? Lawrence Charley of England, the current leader overall, really focused. He knows he's got to get a very, very quick drive and pull to beat this young Scotsman on the right-hand side of the screen there, now in front of you. 2nd place overall. These two have been going head-to-head throughout the competition. Charley's experience, I think, counting so far. Quick drive by Charley. Oh, Stoltman resisting. Oh, that's good stuff by the youngster. He'll want to get one over on the old head of Lawrence Charley here. Oh, Charley, I think, is suffering. It's to and fro and to and fro. It's just like the anchor carry all over again. Oh, Charley, a drive for the line. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. He thinks he is. Stoltman can't afford to let any inches go on that rope. Oh, he's decided that he can't hang on anymore. Charley needed that, and he loves it. That is difficult for Tom Stoltman to take. He's been very philosophical about being young, and he's got plenty of years in him. But that will be a bitter blow for the young man. The adrenaline is flowing, the tail feathers are up. Lawrence Charley wants this title. Another victory for the Englishman, 8 points over Tom Stoltman with 7. A great result for Phil Roberts with 6, and his training partner Paul Smith takes 4th. As Lawrence Charley inches ahead, it's Paul Smith, Phil Roberts, Pa O'Dwyer, Aaron Page and Charlie Goff all in with a shout. It's a battle for 3rd.
Well, we've got the 3 Ps here in Paul, Phil and Pa, and I guess you can see now, obviously it's a 2-horse race for whoever wins the title of UK Strongest Man, but lots to fight for as far as that 3rd place finish is concerned, Paul.
Yeah, I think Lawrence and Tom have got the win, but, well, winning in 2nd place, but it's fighting for the podium now. It's a big thing in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big deal. So, you know, what can you do to get the better of these 2 men in that final event?
Well, this event, I've tried once before, didn't have a really good go on it, but I've just got to... Now it's all who's lasting the best, and just got to try as hard as I can.
Phil, looking forward to this final event. It's been so rugged for you guys over the course of 3 days.
Well, I think I've slowly clawed it back through the final. I just hope I can carry on clawing it back, and well, fingers crossed for that podium space.
As I think there's like half a point between all 3 of you as we look for that 3rd place and podium finish. Pa, this is one event maybe that you would have an advantage over the others.
Well, hopefully, but I picked up another injury along the way. I'm after knocking off my fingernail down on top of everything else. But I'm going to dig deep now and try and finish these 5 poles.
Just how tough? Give us an idea of how tough it's been, this competition, this UK Strongest Man this year.
This has been exceptionally tough. Like, the lineup is the strongest it has ever been, I think. Like, I've followed it for years. 3 days in a row then, and 13 events is just tough. Picking up injury after injury after injury, and you're expected to be on your best in the final. It's tough.
I guess none of us should be surprised, Phil, at just how good Big Loz has been.
No, he's numerous times World's Strongest Man finalist, so he shows us how it is. He's proved it.
Well, listen, great competition from you guys. May the best man finish. You there, fair enough. Go hard in that final event. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Can Tom Stoltman, the young pretender, overhaul the wise fox Lawrence Charley? The giant flag hoist is the final event.
So 2-horse race then for the title, Glenn. Lots to play for as far as a third-place podium finish is concerned. How are we closing this year's Strongman?
Well, I think that is the difference. The fact that third place are going to be working hard for that podium could split the points and help possibly Tom Stoltman to get the win. 4 points to play. It's still anybody's, and this is a Strongman flag hoist. What a finish this is going to be.
So talk us through this. We'll start with a small one down the end.
Yes, it is, and it weighs in excess of 275 kilos.
I say small one. It's small compared to the others. And take us up in these weights, Glenn.
That's in the pole from the red mark.
Okay, right.
They'll go under the second one, then the third, then the fourth, and then this finish is an absolutely massive weight.
So that red mark means they can't put their hands any further beyond it when they're lifting?
No, they can't. They've got to pull it up as far as they can, click it in, and then move on.
Right then, here it is, folks. Final event of this year's championship. Who's your money on?
With an event like that as the last event, it's going to be interesting. I've never done it before, so I really don't know what to expect.
I think like the technique I discovered for flag hoist is brute strength, just ignorance. Catch it and rip it as hard as you can up off the ground.
Our first two men in this final event of UK Strongest Man. Aaron Page. That's a little bit disingenuous saying he's 6th overall. He has a shout of a podium place here, you know, because there are 5 men within striking distance. This is another one of them. Phil Roberts. Well, he's really, really nailed the last few events. He gives it absolutely everything he can. It's a brutal event, this. It's a combination, really a transition event. You've got that deadlift, and then, as you get the weight coming up over the centre of gravity, you've got to drop your hands down the flagpole again in order to keep walking backwards. There is no way on earth that you can train for this sort of event, and Phil Roberts really struggling. That's 3 flagpoles in the locked position for Phil Roberts. He's going for a 4th. Aaron Page suffering on the 3rd. He's got time, but I think he's suffering a little bit of injury. He had a calf injury he's been carrying through this competition, and he's decided that that is enough for him. Phil Roberts wants this 3rd place on the podium. Absolute maximum effort. You can see his body going anaerobic there. He's got to bring that weight back up again. If he drops his hands once more, it'll topple over. That's 4 flagpoles, and Phil Roberts has done the best that he can. He's almost out on his feet. Applauds the crowd. That's the best he can do. Well done, Phil Roberts. Look at the effort that Roberts puts in. He's never, ever, ever less than 100% committed to any event. Well, our next heat, this is Ireland's strongest man. Definitely in with a chance of a podium place. It's Par O'Dwyer, one of only 2 men in this field to have completed all of the flagpoles in a previous competition during the Battle of Britain and Ireland earlier this year. He did exactly that. And this is Paul Smith. He's just seen his training partner do a fantastic effort. And away they go. Well, 1 pole in the locked position for both of them easily, and O'Dwyer making it look as though he does this for a living. Into the 3rd flagpole. Straight into the lock position for Par O'Dwyer. Confidence must play a big part in this event as well. Par O'Dwyer knows he can do this. Well, he's making it look child's play, frankly, and Paul Smith probably hasn't got the technique. He hasn't done it before. Look at that. He's not letting the weight drop forwards, Par O'Dwyer. Dropping his hands and walking at the same time. That is absolutely fabulous. Under 40 seconds, well under 40 seconds for Par O'Dwyer. He must have put himself in the driving position for the third place on the podium, surely. Well, this is a big learning experience for Paul Smith. How incredibly frustrating knowing you're in with a shout and having to go up against this man and his experience. Brilliant, brilliant stuff by Par O'Dwyer. Well, this is the one we've all been waiting for. On the left-hand side of the screen was Lawrence Charley. This, however, is Tom Stoltman. Second place overall. He still has that chance if Charley can't complete this event. Lawrence Charley really super focused as he has been in the last two events. He wants to take this Crystal CNP trophy back home with him. He's won titles in the Ultimate Strongman World Championships. He's been a European champion, but this would be the first time he's won the UK Strongest Man, and he gets a very good start. He is shorter than Tom Stoltman. That plays to his advantage. He's doing really well. Third pole in place for Lawrence Charley. This looks brilliant for Charley. Stoltman. Oh! Well, it looks like he's maybe torn something in that left quad. This is a disaster. This really, really could play to the hands of Tom Stoltman. 3 flagpoles might not be enough for Lawrence Charley, and he knows it. Stoltman really has to lift all 5 flagpoles now, and he has to do it quickly as well, because remember, Par O'Dwyer has already finished 5. Making a little bit of heavy weather in the last one, but look at this. Super, super strength. Is this a winning lift? We'll have to wait and see, because Lawrence Charley is looking a little bit perturbed, and I'm not surprised. It could be Tom Stoltman's day. A great victory for Par O'Dwyer in the event, but the story is all about Tom Stoltman and Lawrence Charley. Charley has done enough with that 3 flagpoles to take the overall title. He is UK's Strongest Man 2017, ahead of Tom Stoltman and Par O'Dwyer in third. Let's hear from the champion himself.
Lawrence, the body held out just.
Just, yeah. Obviously disappointed to injure myself on the last event, but it's been a great 3 days. You know, I've enjoyed the competition. I put in a good solid performance on the first 4 events, got me into a nice lead going into that. I really wanted to finish those flags. I quite, it's a new event for me. I felt quite good on the first 3, and unfortunately something just pinged, and it's so frustrating. But it's kind of manageable when you come out still on top. If I didn't win, I think I would have been devastated. But I'm pleased, obviously. These guys are awesome. The standard in the UK right now is so good. And it's just been, fun competing with them, and obviously really fantastic to win.
Yeah, so you've won European Championships, world titles as well. How sweet is it, in the first time that you've actually managed to be able to enter this tournament, to be UK Strongest Man? It's been great, you always want to win titles. That's why you compete, to win the big titles. And in the UK, this is one of the biggest titles. I've won the world title for the Ultimate Strongman, won Europe's Strongest Man, so my career's not been too bad. Well done, mate. Great congratulations once again. This was one of the toughest strongman events in the world, and the 2017 UK Strongest Man is Lawrence Charley.